Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. We could just leave it up there, so they don't hear all the songs. Sometimes just leave it here, so you don't have to move that thing around with the camera.
Whatever you prefer.
This is right
If
side.
you're okay with them there.
I have a quick question. Is that going to be on the Pittsburgh Kirtan Center
Yes.
Facebook?
Yes.
Are there special guests?
Yes. They're on their way. That's what the phone was for.
Melissa, why do you have to talk to your agent?
No, I sent it to. I wanted my cousin to be able to watch it. She couldn't come today.
It is a very light.
Yeah, okay.
Hare
Hariiiiiiiibol.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Prabhu.
Hariiiiiiibol.
So I'll do a invocation mantra first little bit. Om Namo Bhagavate. Is that okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
You gonna come with me? What do you want to bring? Want to bring monkey?
Hanuman. Hanuman.
Is monkey gonna sing?
Do you want to come sit over here?
We just need a little seat for her. Here, sit right here. Can you sit here near mommy? Sit right there. Okay? Sit right here. I'll be right here, all right? We can stand very close. That's fine. Krishna Thank you.
If you could figure out the notes.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I have.
The other way to the dot, two eyes of the gold. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री श्री गौरनिताय की जय, His loving divine grace श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि 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 बोल।
Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening for a special program with Dwarkadhish prabhu. So I'll just introduce him to everybody and then we'll request Dwarkadhish prabhu and Vishaka mataji to speak to us this evening. So Dwarkadhish prabhu is actually a doctor, a profession, and he's in fact one of the founding members of the Bhaktivedanta Hospital in Mumbai, and he's the leading physician and one of the strongest pillars of the hospital. I'm not sure if you've heard about the Bhaktivedanta Hospital, but probably that's the only one of its kind, which is completely focused on serving with devotion, giving medical treatment with a very strong foundation of spiritual care that the hospital gives. So almost 98 is when this hospital was started. So Dwarkadhish prabhu, along with a few other doctors, they started this hospital, and I would say that over all these years, 25 years now, Bhaktivedanta Hospital has not only cured hundreds and thousands of patients, but also cured them from the material ailment by giving them a touch of spirituality. More important than that, Dwarkadhish prabhu was also one of the founding members of the Radha Gopinath Temple, the Chowpatty community in Mumbai, India. He's one of the leading disciples of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and he's been practicing Krishna consciousness for 40 years, 35, 36, 37 years, like that, and has been mentoring hundreds and hundreds of devotees across the globe. So he resides in Mumbai. He's on his annual tour. Due to COVID, last couple of years, he and his good wife, Vishaka Mataji, they were not able to travel, but they have again started travel now, and they're on their annual tour of US. So we're so fortunate and thankful that they are here with us in Pittsburgh to enlighten all of us in the principles of of devotional service, principles of spirituality. So let us welcome Dwarkadhish Prabhu, Vishaka Mataji by loudly chanting Hariiiiiiiibol 3 times. Request Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna. My heart goes out in gratitude to all the devotees who are present here to experience the divinity of this wonderful place. For me, it's the first time I'm here. I'm already beginning to feel the divinity, the spiritual energy which is emanating from this beautiful hall. And it probably forecasts in my heart and mind, this will be a great place for people to really nourish their souls with kirtan ras. There is a ras. Ras is called as juice. You have mango juice, and strawberry juice. Those nourish the body, obviously, but kirtan ras nourishes our soul. Sometime back, my spiritual master, as you mentioned, Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and a very good friend, his Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj, very thick, nice friends. They've been in Krishna consciousness at the beginning of the inception. And once my spiritual master asked him in a gathering of maybe about 2,000 devotees, he said, Swami, can you tell us, can you encompass in just one word the essence of bhakti? Now there are how many thousands and millions of shlokas glorifying the path of bhakti, and here is a very impossible question. Because Sachin Maharaj is a practitioner of bhakti school for over 4 decades. So he's a man with deep insight into Krishna consciousness, very deep insight. So you are all waiting eagerly for what is that one word which he will say, which will encompass everything which you all wanted to know about bhakti. And he said, Radhanath Swami, the one word for which encompasses everything about bhakti is absorption. Absorption. And that has stuck into my heart for the last more than 2 decades now. And that's what I've been trying to do in my life, basically. So that's what I try to do, getting absorbed in whatever I'm doing, in my medical work, and being with my patients, being with my friends, doing Harinam, worshiping the deity of the Lord on the altar. Whatever I'm trying to do in my life, I'm trying to pray that I may get that spirit of true absorption. What is absorption? We sing with our tongues, and we hear with our ears, and it's not absorption. When we incorporate the heart in the process, it is absorption. In the 8th century, there was a great king in South India, and he was Maharaj Kulashekara. It's a beautiful pastime. Several things to learn from his life, but I will pick up just one jewel of his life to enunciate the point we're talking about today. A very successful king, very revered and honored by his citizens, who felt like he's a father to all of us, very cared for, and practically everybody in the kingdom had all that they needed, completely satisfied. The king would spend a good amount of his time in inviting Vaishnavas, devotees of the Lord, to come and narrate to him the pastimes from the Ramayana, Sri Ramayana. He was at heart a devotee of Lord Ramachandra, Sita and Ram. And he would narrate to him various episodes. Ramayana is a long scripture, one of the longest of all epics the world has today. The Ramayana. by Maharishi Valmiki. And he would hear with such rapt attention and go right into the pastime, or enter into the Leela. And he'd be like this, almost on his nerves, hearing every syllable with such absorption. And the absorption would be so great that actually would start feeling the pastime. What's been narrated in sound would get reenacted in his heart as a reality. It's like if I'm saying, like someone say, oh, you said it so well, somebody can say, right? I could almost feel what you said, right? You can say something like that. I could picturize what you are saying. So here was somebody saying, pure 100% saying, but he was absorbed so much. And therefore, the ministers knew that actually they should only invite and the Vaishnavas to speak the good part of the Ramayana. There are parts where there is a part as Karuna Ras, but there is a sad part of the Ramayana also. And you would just become so much absorbed and would cry, start crying. And that would demoralize him. How this is happening to my Lord? How this is happening to Mother Sita? And become very despondent. So he said, okay, you just please focus only on the good part. The Ram and Sita together, they are at Chitrakoot, and they are on the mountain called Kamakiri, and having a great time together, Lord Ram and Mother Sita. For some reason, this narrator would not come one particular day. He said this to his son, I'll be gone for some time. If we just go for one day and just make the king happy, narrate him Ramayana. But before tell him what to speak about from the Ramayana. So he started narrating the Leela, the pastime of Mother Sita getting kidnapped by the great demon, atrocious villain called Ravana, right? Who flies over sky and takes him to the South Indian, beyond the lake banks of India into his golden kingdom, the land of Lanka, right? The moment he said that, he said, come on, ministers! You have to go and save Mother Sita. She has been kidnapped. Minister said, this has happened in, it has happened like in antiquity, in Treta Yuga. No. When the king says something, the king is the king. His word is law. His word is absolute. Practically. So he said, all the ministers, okay, let's go. And chariots, horses, and elephants are ready. We'll march over the ocean, and then we cross the ocean, and we'll rescue Mother Sita because she needs our help. She's helpless. She's all alone. Right? Nobody's there to help her. So they start marching into the ocean. The ocean is fierce ocean in South India. And now they are in the Indian Ocean, and they're out in front of them, right? And the king is absorbed, right? He's so absorbed. So the army stops at the ocean, right? Obviously, they're not going beyond that. They cannot go beyond that. The minister stops. The king is, let's go! And the horse is going in the ocean, right? And the horse drowns, and he's still, let's go! And we said, our king is going to get drowned now, right? How to save our king? And then miracle takes place. Lord Ramachandra, from the opposite side, starts coming towards him. And, my Lord, I was just about to come and meet Sita, but there was a war, right? Ram said, yes. The war was there, and we have destroyed all the demons. Lanka has been won. Ravana is dead, along with all his brothers and all his Rakshasas. And I'm coming back, Mother Sita, back to Ayodhya. Right? And Lord embraced his dear devotee, Vishaka Maharaj, and he was pacified. My mother has been saved. And he came back. The Lord reciprocated when you say the heart gets involved in absorption, who's in the heart? Heart is not a fleshy tissue of blood. That's the material part of heart. But the consciousness resides in the heart. It is the seat of our consciousness. And next to the consciousness is the Lord Himself, super soul, also called the Antaryami, the Lord of our own heart. And when He perceives this absorption in the heart of His dear devotee, He responds and reciprocates, like we have seen this particular Leela. That is absorption in Katha. Same we find in Maharaj Parikshit. The great epic of Srimad Bhagavatam is there, where this person is prophesied to die by the skirts of this Brahman in just 7 days. And now he's sitting there in front of this wonderful young little saint of 16 years old, hearing from him the Srimad Bhagavatam, the topmost of all scriptures on the Bhakti school. And here he's so absorbed. Now, after a while, maybe at half an hour or so, we will start feeling hungry. And beyond that, a little sleepy, drowsy, yawning, but no, not speaking. Whether it was day or night, for 7 days, morning, night, non-stop. He didn't get up, he didn't sleep, he didn't eat, nothing. Like a perfect yogi in samadhi, rapt absorption of every syllable coming from the mouth of his great saint, his spiritual master, Sukadeva Goswami. When we do kirtan, we just did kirtan for a few minutes, right? And I could see all of you are so absorbed. That was wonderful. When we get absorbed, it is infectious. When he's absorbed playing the guitar, and he pulls everybody else into that absorption also. So when we get absorbed, it is very infectious. It is wonderful. That is called as not kirtan, but it is called as Sankirtan. Sankirtan is a higher form of kirtan in the sense where everyone's hearts become one in sound. This great saint is sitting there at a very holy place in Vrindavan called as, it was the foothills of a great hill called as Govardhan. And he's sitting there with his bead bag and chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. He had taken a vow, this great saint called Raghunath Das Goswami. Taken a vow that I will chant 100,000 names of the Lord every day. It takes several hours. And he would, as I said, get so absorbed in the holy name. Now, Vrindavan, you may know it's close to Delhi, right? The climate is very, very oppressive. In summer, it becomes like, we're talking more in terms of centigrade, we're talking about Fahrenheit, but it would be like 45 degrees centigrade, sometimes 50 degrees centigrade. It's scorching, it can burn your skin practically, right? Nobody can handle that type of heat. You were sitting there, absorbed, never felt the heat. And as I said, the Lord reciprocates with absorption. Srimati Radharani, our dear mother, the mother of devotion, bhakti personified, she would come down to the spiritual world and with her veil of her sari, she would hold it over Das Goswami's head and shelter her from the scorching sun. How the Lord loves to see us absorb His holy name. Another time, again he was chanting, completely oblivious. When we are absorbed, we become oblivious of the world around us, and that's what we want. Because we are so conscious of the outside world that we are not conscious of the inner world, the whole world inside our heart. You need to be explored. He was chanting. And it is a beautiful kund there, a body of water, a holy body of water called as Sri Radha Kund. And there, a ferocious tiger who came to take his water, came to drink water. Ferocious tiger from the jungle, he just came there. And his dear friend, Sanatana Goswami saw Das Goswami is chanting Hare Krishna, and the tiger is just next to him. Oh Krishna. And he's saying, oh my God, I hope the inevitable doesn't happen. And he's praying to the Lord, please. And in the next few seconds, he sees Krishna come into the scene with a stick in his hand, waiting. In case the tiger attacks, Krishna will do what he needs to do. Right? And they go to Das Goswami and say, please, when we chant Hare Krishna, what are we chanting for? The chanting is a plea. It's an appeal. It's a begging of the soul to render loving service to his Lord and Master. We chant to serve, to engage in the Lord's service. Our Master is our Lord, the Lord in the heart. You want to serve him. But because you are chanting in such a way without the shelter of any house or any hut, the Lord has to come and serve you. He has to come from the spiritual world with the stick, to save from the tiger. And Srimati Radharani, our mother, has to come and protect you with her veil because of the sunlight. How bad. This is what kind of devotion is this? Make a hut for yourself, a small place of residence, and do your chanting there so that you don't disturb the Lord. You want to serve, you don't want to take service. When we chant, we are not asking the Lord. Everyone goes to religion to ask from the Lord. The father always knows, the mother always knows what the child wants. The father will give, the mother will give without even asking. The dinner, the school fees, glass of water, clothes to wear, house to live in, provided. Every father and mother knows what a child needs. The Lord knows what we need, he will give. Right? But we want to reciprocate what he has given us. We want to now offer service. The example, I will end with this example. It's a beautiful, I meditated on this example many times in my life. I never have this opportunity to go to the Holy Ganga, if I can. I would like to take a bath every day if possible. But whenever I've been to the Ganga, it's a great time to really pray to Mother Ganga, holiest of all holy rivers. And how do we really worship the Ganga? No incense sticks, no candles, no ghee lamps, nothing. You don't need anything to worship Mother Ganga. The greatest of all the rivers, how do you worship her? You take water in your hands, offer your prayer of devotion, and you just offer the water back. Take the water from the Ganges, offer your prayers to her, and give her back. Right? When you take the water from the Ganga, it does not decrease her water. When you give to Ganga, it doesn't increase her water. Right? But Ganga sees it as a great act of devotion. Oh, he's offering me this water with great love. And she feels so obliged. Similarly, Krishna, whatever Krishna has given us, very happily, we take that from Krishna and what do? Before we eat our prasad, we eat our food. We do that, right? What the Lord has given us, vegetables, fruits, this, that, all that. We just point it. We take it. We don't eat it first. My dear Lord, it's a thanksgiving. You please take it first. We give it to him. And the Lord, with his own eyes, eats in a spiritual way. We take his remnants. Right? So this is one sort of devotion. If you can simply remain absorbed, the example of Parikshit Maharaj, the example of Maharaj Guru Shekhara, There's been Rama Bhakta. The example of Raghunath Das Goswami is great Krishna Bhakta. We all pray for the day when we can really offer not just our tongues and our throats and our lips and our ears in devotion, but one day we can actually offer our very heart to the Lord. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Anyone have any questions? I have a question.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna says that I'm situated within the hearts of all living entities, and from me come knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So when you're speaking of absorption, we're talking about absorption in Krishna, his name, his philosophy, his teachings, practice, service to the devotees, all these wonderful things that are available, being made available by the mercy of his devotees. And yet, Krishna also says that this material energy of mind consisting of the three modes of nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, is very difficult to overcome. One who surrenders unto me can easily cross beyond it. So here we are stuck in the middle. The soul is marginal and can be forget and can remember. How many times I forget? How easy it is to forget. It can only be envy. So, what is the root cause of envy? What is
Ichha dvesha samuddhena dvanda mohina bharat. The same scripture, Bhagavad Gita. The root cause of envy, as per Krishna's own divine words, is this desire to enjoy the things of this world separate from Krishna. Ichha, born out of dvesha, the desire to enjoy. The first sin, the primeval sin, the original sin of the living being is envy of the Lord, because of which we lost paradise. We lost Golok Vrindavan, we lost Vaikuntha. Right? The original sin. All that it is expected from us that we cooperate with the Lord. There is Krishna consciousness, God consciousness, spirituality is not against enjoyment. But when we incorporate Krishna into our life, then you enjoy first. We can be enjoying, but we are now secondary enjoyers. This example is given by Prabhupada. The child goes to his father, puts hand in his pocket, and takes out $1. And goes to the market and gets a bar of chocolate, 5-star chocolate, right? By doing, coming back. But what the child does is so interesting, right? He removes the wrapper, doesn't eat it. What does he do? Daddy, what does daddy do? Eat the whole chocolate? You give it to me, it's finished. Take a bite of it. You enjoy it. The father is happy, the child is also happy. Right? So in this way, when we are not envious, the envy means we want to be the primary enjoyers, we want to be the central enjoyers in disregard to the Lord. Right? That is envy. The moment we actually bring the Lord in the equation of our life, right? There's no envy. But You're the enjoyer. I am the enjoyed. Right?
Share happiness.
When we share, when the Lord enjoys, we automatically enjoy. Prabhupada example of what is the root of the tree. The Lord is the root of creation. Is it not? Yes. You offer things to him at the root. Everything is satisfied. So just need to keep the Lord in everything we do. My dear, this is for you. When we chant Hare Krishna mantra or do kirtan, yes, we are enjoying, no doubt. But we are hoping that as we are enjoying, I hope, my dear Lord, you are also enjoying this kirtan. Right? I hope that our music and our melodies and our singing and all that we bring together, the collective energy, is pleasing to you. That's our concern.
Now, the living entity has a tendency to be rebellious.
Mm.
And if we consider, of course, we can't compare, but where did that rebellion originally come from?
Stubbornness.
Yes.
The Lord says, Chanchalahi Mana Krishna, Pramati Balavadridam, Tasyaham Nigraham Manye. This is Arjuna's word, right? So the soul, when it is governed by not devotion, but by false ego, right? It becomes Pramati. Pramati means stubborn, right? Stubbornness is equal to rebellion. He knows better, but because of conditionings of so many lifetimes, he will not do what he knows is also right. The example is given of, classic example is of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is a man, who's a king, a blind king. I think we all know the history of Mahabharata, right? Now he knows that Vasudeva is the Lord. And my stupid, idiotic son, Duryodhana, is the cause of devastation of the entire kingdom of the Kurus. But because of Putra Moha, what you call as attachment to his son, he would defy the Lord's desire to form a united kingdom. Right? So here is Dhritarashtra who personifies rebellion and stubbornness. He knows, but he will not. And therefore the Lord has to do what he did.
Now, Dhritarashtra, he had association with Vidura and still could not take good counsel.
Exactly. That's how stubborn we can be.
So
That's how Ravan had the same thing. You're right. You're perfectly right. You're answering your own question. Ravana had the good advice of Mandodari, chaste wife. At one point, even Meghna, his son, said, Father, you need to reconsider the fact that no, this is all happening because Sita is in our kingdom and she's a chaste lady. If you touch a chaste lady, it causes destruction to the entire race. And we already lost my brother, all these ministers and commander lost. You want to give her back? No! Right? And therefore, in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, right, we are taught the principle of humility first. Humility is the antidote of envy. Therefore, Mahaprabhu teaches us first. Trinadapi sunichena taro nivaseshu amayana manadena. So when I learn to respect everybody, beginning with the Lord's devotees, right? That respect itself is an act of reducing envy. Because any person never respects anybody. Because he thinks he is. He doesn't have to respect anybody. Did Duryodhana respect anybody? No. Right? The act of beginning to respect the Lord's devotees is an act of beginning of the humility of our heart. And the Lord sees that humility, then He manifests Himself on our tongues and our heart when we chant His holy names. Till such time He will not. He will not. Right? So only when you subdue, when Kaliya was subdued by Krishna on his tongue, in a very painful way, then the Lord said, I will not kill you now. I'll give you the love of God in it. Yeah? Something?
I mean, if that envy is there towards Krishna or his devotees, and we can't take good instruction, then
Is to smash
we'll
us.
be smashed by
Smash
the
us
material
again.
nature. Yeah.
Indra had to be smashed. Indra had to be smashed.
We'll get frustrated.
So let's take the easy path and not get smashed. So I thank you very much. It's beyond 8:30, and I'm very grateful to my friend Shamsundar Patu for bringing us here. Very grateful for this nice association. Wish all of us can be united in Harinam. Hare Krishna.
Dwarkadhish Prabhu ki
Jai.
So let us thank Dwarkadhish Prabhu by loudly chanting Hariiiiiiibol 3 times.
Hariiiiiiiibol, Hariiiiiiibol, Hariiiiiiibol.
And we sincerely pray that Prabhuji can come here more often and enlighten all of us.
Pleasure.
Hare Krishna.
I had the good fortune of going to the hospital just before, when the COVID broke out. I was there. Just when it was breaking out, yeah. I remember going into the hospital thinking, I don't know if I'm in the best place. Because, there's so many people there. But I was really fascinated by all the, it's just wonderful. I was being given a tour by Mother Sita.
Oh,
Yeah, dentist. Yeah, so, yes, thank you so much for that wonderful service. I mean, it's like Shamasundar was saying, it's a very, very special place because not only the care for the body is being given, but people are gradually becoming healed, spiritually being attracted to Krishna. And it's a beautiful temple across the street. Right? Beautiful temple.
Brother Giridhari.
Yes. Was that also part of the the temple of
No.
Radha Giridhari? It's this one, right?
Yeah, this one. Different management. But we are very close friends.
Yeah.
We work together.
Beautiful deities. So much for coming.
Hare Krishna.
You are also. I had the opportunity to visit Prabhupada one time in Montreal. I didn't go. This friend of mine, very close friend of mine. He was come on, let's go. No, I finished my
Are those special words?
Yeah, it's called free friendship.
They are these crayons.
Like they only mark on the page? That's so cool. And there's a
Usually was my mom did that.
I was thinking in the back of my mind, oh, great, I think we will make two more. Because I'm in Pittsburgh and I perform music in return. Every week. And so I can't realize the I did a good WhatsApp and I saw the post. Oh, it's in Thank you.
Oh, hey, he's so big. How did he become so big so soon?